Hello, race fans. Welcome to another episode, Short Track Guys Podcast, brought to you by ShortTrackExclusives.com. I'm your host, Thomas Faddis, alongside two other short track guys with me here. Driver the 07, Can'tQuitFishing.com sportsman and 2021 sportsman champion, Five Flag Speedway in Pensacola, Florida, Jim Pokrant, and Ted Baber of Ted Baber Video Productions here locally at Five Flag Speedway in Pensacola, Florida. What's up, guys?
What's going on?
What's happening, sir? How are you this evening?
We're doing good, and we're having some fun, and we're getting closer to the November 20th preview.
Yes, sir.
And Jim, you've got maybe some updates about that Sportsman motor?
Well, it's supposed to come out of the machine shop Friday, which means it'll go back in the car probably first of next week, and we should bust it off maybe next Thursday or Friday, and then we'll take it out, shake it down, go for a track record. Yeah. I would love to set the track record if we can get that old girl up to speed, and then come back in December and win that snowball derby and ride around all weekend with that trophy, because that's my game plan.
Well, if you did happen to set that, like a speed record, a timing record in the preview, would that really count as an official time track record?
Yep, because I forget who did it. I think Buttrick broke it one year and got it. So that's our game plan. I mean, we won a 2040, and I think it's a 2027. So all we got to do is bust a tenth and a half off of what we got, and we're the fastest qualifier. So
1500ths, not much.
No, and we can do it. I mean, I don't doubt that old girl's got it in her. It's just a matter of we're going to have a fresh engine, something I haven't had in years. That motor's 7 years old, and they didn't believe me till they tore it apart. And saw them bearings had a date of February of 2014 on them. So that's all I can say.
Well, other than James Piper with Can't Quit Fishing, is there anybody else behind you moving forward to this Snowball Derby event?
Ted Baber. He helps me out here.
In the house?
In the house. He works on, and we're working on that. And then I got Emerald Coast Remodeling and Trim, my buddy Michael Davidson, Tech Master out of Fort Walton Beach, my buddy Rick Culbertson. Brian and his girlfriend Jackie sponsored us some tires, and they're going to help us out a little for the Derby. And, of course, Mark McCharge and Jackie from Louisiana are going to send me some money to buy some tires. They've already paid my entry fee into the Derby, so I love those guys, and thank you for your support and your backing, and Coastal Engine and Machine for their help. And also, I want to give a shout out to our track photographer, Eddie Ritchie at Turn One Photos. He shared our podcast on his Facebook page, and he's trying to help promote us. And if you need any pictures from anything out there, go see him, because he's really good at what he does. And I appreciate you, man. And he's had some bad times. He lost his dog this past week. So
yeah, that's never good.
No, and he lost his wife last year. He's had it kind of tough lately. But you know what? He's always got a smile on his face, always upbeat, and I appreciate him.
Now,
so,
speaking of the best in the business, I'm going to also give a shout out to John, because he's the setup guy. Well, the setup guy.
Oh yeah, John Ruth. I can't forget John Ruth. Thank you, man. Yeah, he sets up me in the '99 car, and we're probably going to end up battling for the Derby win, because I'm going to tell you, Kevin Mitchell is one hell of a race car driver, and he's going to be tough to beat. And they work on their stuff. So and got to thank John and Martin Beck, my crew chief. Will Hay, dude, man, Will came to me one day as a fan, told me he was a fan of me, and then asked if he could help. He's been one of the best crew members I've ever had. Thank you so much for what you do. My buddy Neil, he's from Louisiana also. He bought us a floor jack this year and worked up with us one night and helped out a lot. And he's going to be there for the Derby, so we'll be happy to have Neil with us. Of course, the Gintz Brothers Racing and Phil Gintz, with all his help, let me live out of his shop and work out of there. And so we're going to have some fun at the Derby. It's going to be an interesting race. I can tell you that much.
And Tyrone,
yeah, no Ben, yeah, got to thank old Ben. He getting us a fuel pump for our new car, our new motor. So thank you, Ben, and we're going to help him run up front too if he can keep from hitting the dadgum fence. You knucklehead, he's bouncing that thing off the wall. Well, you say let it drift up. I said, but you don't hit the freaking wall, dum-dum. Lift.
that scrubs off speed. What's wrong with you?
I know it. But he's new, but he's doing a good job. I'm proud of him. I really am. And we're going to get Brock Gintz up to speed. We got that Derby preview, son, and I'm going to have to go drill sergeant on him, but he's going to get that thing because he has zero excuses now. He's got to get behind the wheel and get the job done. We're going to work with him. So it's going to be fun. I love it as always. And, let's go racing. That's all I got to say.
Well, that's the preview, November 20th on a Saturday night, but we're going to back up one day from that and just throw a reminder out to everybody on the 19th at downtown at Seville Quarter, the Snowball Derby pageant, which is going to take place, and it's even more special now than it probably ever has been with the list growing.
Yep.
You can get in touch with Taylor Griffin or msdpageant@gmail.com and get in touch with that, or go to fireflagspeedway.com and look at that website, and they've got everything you need to know to get involved with that. And it's $1,000 cash prize. I think it's $300 and then $200 for runner-up and then first runner-up, or first runner-up, second runner-up, however they do that. But there's cash prizes and a lot of prestige, going into representing the Snowball Derby and all the races at Five Flags Speedway.
Right.
Yeah, so I encourage you to go into the website and look that up and get involved. And we've got some updates on some entries here coming up with the Snowflake and the Snowball Derby here in December. Yeah, and well,
sure do.
No, yeah, I'm sorry.
My bad. No, we got Bubba Pollard. He's got entered. Ty Majeski finally put his name in the ranking.
Everybody else can go home.
Charles Keevan.
Yeah.
He's going to be here. He's going to run the Derby, and I guarantee he's going to be in the Snowflake too, because he been running well in a pro late model too. His own team, family-owned team, they do pretty good. I'm really impressed with that young man. We're gonna have a stellar field, that's for sure, and it's just going to grow and grow and grow, and then you won't really have anybody show up late. You'll have a few, but I mean, the best late model teams in the country will be here, and I guarantee you it's going to be a barn burner.
That is all over the country, too. They come from even Canada.
Yeah, we talked about that last Wednesday, and we kind of speculated a little bit about Ty Majeski, but it now is official. And I kind of thought that being the
defending champion,
why would not? And Ty Majeski is going to be here with Casey Smith, Jeff Chiquette, Charlie Keevan, as we've spoken about, John Boland, Jake Garcia. That will start on Wednesday, December 1st. But the day before that, on Tuesday, I believe, we don't have official confirmation about that, but they usually have something at Beep O'Brady's here where the drivers come in and Speed 51 comes in and does their whole little party. But that really kicks off Snowball Derby week.
That's a fun time, too.
It is. Especially, like I said, when you get to sit near one of your heroes like Gary Ballou and listen to him tell stories. And Gary Ballou is one of the most down-to-earth guys you'll ever meet. He'll talk to you. He don't shun you or ignore you like some of the late model guys do. But
no.
the only thing I wish is when they have that, when Speed 51's interviewing people, I wish they would interview the local guys.
That would be nice.
We're a track champion. Why can't he, hey, it's Jim Pokrant, he's track champion sports division. They're going to be running on Thursday night. Promote us too, not just the late model guys, because a lot of the late model guys enjoy our show too. They love to watch us. They hang around. A lot of them guys don't go to the hotel. They're like, we're going to stick around and watch these short track guys. They're going to tear stuff up. It's going to be interesting.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, there's going to be a fight somewhere.
It is a 4-day event, 4-day racing event, so why not cover everybody?
Help everybody. I mean, if I work for a team, I'd be like, I'm not going back to the hotel. I'm going to sit right here and watch racing. That's what I'm down there to do.
And I understand the pro treks are running on Thursday night with you and the Pure Stocks.
Yes, I wish they'd quit doing that. I wish they would because they did that last year, and it's just crowded. I don't know why we can't run the trucks on Friday night.
Right, like with
the outlaw stocks. Are they modified run Friday night? Okay, outlaws run on Saturday then. But they could do that, put 2 and 2, and it would be a better show. But for some reason, they want to cram all 3 of us in. And if it's a late night, man, I know one year with the truck race, they ran them on Saturday, and it rained. And I mean, we didn't take the 100-lapper didn't finish, and Bubba Pollard won it till 5:30 in the morning. I laid down.
Nope.
Yeah, I laid down in my camper at 5:45 and was up at 8 o'clock for the big race on Sunday. It was very
afterthought.
Yeah. Oh God, that was
we called it the 24 hours of the snowflake because it just was ridiculous.
Wow. Yeah, it was a mess, but. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a good show, man. I'm looking forward to it as every year I do. I take time off of work just to be there. I don't walk around, eat food, look at race cars, listen to guys run around. The only thing regret I have is I wish I never would have sold my dadgum golf cart. But
yeah, it's time to get another one.
Yeah, we do need one with Short Track Guys podcast on the side.
That's right.
Exactly. Well, I mean, we can go and build this up, and you can tell the tension that's in the studio talking about the Snowball Derby with all the stuff that we've talked about last Wednesday, and then we're coming up this next week. with all these super late models and then the pro late models, even though there's talent in those cars too. They're just not much different. That's pretty much the way it is. But the drivers are just as talented from one series to another.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And it's building up, and you've got winners from one end of the country to the other, and they're going to end up here at the end of the year. And we've got 4 or 5 different series that's going to combine all this stuff in December.
Yep.
Except for Daytona, I think is the only exception. I've never seen a NASCAR race where twice as many cars show up to try to qualify for the race and a bunch of them go home.
Yeah, but NASCAR's a joke. I mean, honestly, you can't have a 36 car field and 32 of them are charter, so they're guaranteed to start.
Right.
Go back to the old school way. You don't make it, you go home.
Right.
That's the way it should be. That's what I love about short track racing. If you don't qualify, guess what?
Sunday
morning, you're in your rig and you're out.
Yeah.
See you later. Bye bye.
Yeah.
See you next year. Nice. Thanks for trying. Thanks for playing. No consolation prize. See you
Got some
later.
little parting gifts for you.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, you get some stickers and some hats. That's about all you get. But I mean, you that's a stellar field of late models. There'll be probably 50 cars trying to make 30 spots.
Like I said, that is the tensest night of the entire Derby.
It's fun.
Qualifying.
It's qualifying night is fun because you sit there and you look at the car. Oh, no, we didn't make it. Dang. Or look, you got the pole. Okay, cool. It's. I love Friday night. It's fun. It really is. It's a blast to watch.
Well, it's not only tension for the drivers; it's tension that builds up in the stands, knowing. Especially, with us short track guys putting it out there for everybody, It's building up tension even more because now people that are listening and have never been here, but they really will know when they get here what the tension's all about. And the tension really starts from these races that we're about to go over that lead up to the Snowball Derby.
Yep.
And one of them was this weekend.
The Winchester 400.
The Winchester 400 at Winchester Speedway, and we talked about it last weekend. And man, I'm telling you, what a show they put on!
Yeah, Sammy Smith won it, and last lap battle he ends up turning Jack Smith. They battled all the way down the backstretch, and around he went, and Sammy ended up winning it. And they kind of had a disagreement over.
They were making lunch plans.
Yeah, one said he squeezed him. I said he hit him. Hey, they were both going for a prestigious short track win. That's another one of those races that, a lot of big names have won. If you go back into history, guys like Eric Jones and Bob Seneker and Mike Eddy and big name Mark Martin,
Matt Kenseth,
all those guys have won it. But it was a very interesting race. I mean, Nassie, they were having tire problems, and they had to do a 50-lap run and then caution. Nassie spun because his tires gave out, so he had a bad one. And I'm going to tell you something. I've gained a lot of respect for Stephen Nassie, and I hope he wins the Snowball Derby. I think the track owes him one. Would love to see him win it, and I'd be one of the first ones to want to shake his hand and congratulate him. Chandler Smith had a great run going. He had electrical issues. Dakota Armstrong was running good and lost a motor. Hunter Jack broke something in the left front, but they fixed it. He finished 12th, and he won the ARCA CRA Super Series title. Congratulations to Hunter for winning that. But, I mean, you had Sammy Smith, Stephen Nassie, Eddie Van Meter, who drove most of the race without power steering around that high bank track.
the pole sitter.
Yeah, the pole sitter, no power steering. Can you imagine driving? I've driven the 25-lap feature and my power steering went out and my arms were just like linguini when I got out of the car. I can't imagine running a 400-lap late model race without power steering and still finish in the top 3. That's impressive.
Very.
And Jake Garcia, who's our Southern Super Series and Blizzard Series champion, he finished 4th. And around at the top 5 was a young man named Dusty Williams from Georgia. I've never heard of him. Need to do some research on him and figure it out. But this race had a lot of big names in it. It had Carson Hocevar. It had Corey Heim. It had Cody Coughlin. Dakota Armstrong. Just a lot of big names. A great race, good to watch, and a hell of a finish. It was... it's pretty crazy. It's short track racing. You're going to beat and bang a little bit.
Robin's racing, and they got rubbed the wrong way. It happens.
Good runs, good racing, and the 70. What about the 75 lapper, Thomas? The day before.
Yeah, the Lucas Oil Sleek Mist 75, the Jeg CRA Super Series, Mount Morris, Michigan, John Beach. And it's been one of his dreams to win at Winchester. I think he's one of those guys that, grew up like you did, Jim, and at Winchester, around that area, everything is big. at Winchester, and he finally wins one of the biggest races over Ryan Luza. And we know Ryan Luza here locally from Texas. Flying Ryan Luza, big iRacing fan, big iRacer, period. And he's been in a couple of races here locally, but John Beach, just kind of passed Ryan Luza and Jack Smith and beat Cody Coughlin and Nick Egan, which is a top 5. But John Beach just took it to him there with a little bit left to go and won the biggest race of his career.
That's cool, though. It's good to see a guy win his first race in a legendary racetrack like that. That's pretty neat. And congratulations to Cody Coughlin on the championship in that series.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. And
it's back to back.
Yeah, and to think of where his pedigree is from drag racing.
Correct.
I mean, his dad's Jeg Coughlin, one of the baddest drag racers on the planet, and this kid went, "Gee, Dad, I don't want to do the straight stuff. I want to turn left."
Pro stock drag racer, I might add.
Yeah, and you're a big pro stock fan,
big pro stock and a 15-inch wide ground pounder modified fan. Yeah,
I like the pro stocks back in the day when it was Bob Glidden and guys like that, Ricky Smith,
Grumpy Jenkins,
yeah, and when the guys drove really stock stuff that was,
Well, Ted, you preached episode after episode about pedigree.
Yeah,
there it is, right
that's
there.
That's it. I mean,
for sure.
It doesn't hurt. You need to have that kind of backing in order to get into the business to begin with, and then be successful. You got to have a good crew, good team, good support,
and a pathway.
Yeah.
It's not like he's had a decision. I probably had a decision, yes, but you're already probably instilled into that because he's probably at the track when he was
raised
so
up
big,
in it,
and you just kind of inbred into that, and that's what it is, and that's where those genes come from.
Yep,
and that's the pedigree that you've been talking about.
Well, I mean, the only motorsport I don't like is drifting. So, man, if I hurt anybody's feelings on that one, I got to say it because I'm not a drifting fan. But I'm a big stock car. I like drag racing. I think it's all good stuff.
I love WRX. Those guys are nuts.
Yeah. What about that IMCA?
Are we speaking of the International Motor Contest Association?
Yes,
International Motor
Contest
Association.
Yeah,
that's
been around since the 50s.
Move forward with that. The World Stock Car Championships.
50 G's to win it?
Well, we were talking about Mark Martin. This happened to take place in Batesville, Arkansas.
Mark Martin's home racetrack.
Absolutely.
Where he started.
And somebody went home with a $50,000 check from Batesville Motor Speedway. Yeah, that would be nice. Happened to be a gentleman by the name of Benji Lacrosse. He won the race. It was a 2-lap battle at the very end of it. It just seems like every one of these races is coming down to the very end. You get a late race caution, and then it's Katie bar the door because things are going to open up. It's just going to be a wild finish. It was extremely exciting event overall.
But we're going to have videos of that in Batesville Motor Speedway, and it wasn't exciting. I mean, can you imagine being in a stock car world championships and win $50,000? And I think the winner, Benji said that he was building a garage with part of that.
Right.
And he was going to do, I guess pay bills or whatever, and maybe fix his car or something. But, I mean, just imagine what you got $50,000 in the bank for winning a dirt street stock race.
Yeah, I wonder how much the IRS gets of that. 'Cause I'm sure they're going to
more
get
than he wants to give them, I'm sure.
More than they should, for sure.
Well, and those cars, they call them street stocks, but a lot of them now are aftermarket frames, and they got a stock-looking body on them. They're stock location on the aftermarket frames, but those cars are pretty expensive. He probably spent $30,000 to build that car, so he recouped a chunk of it. That's for sure. That's pretty cool. I mean,
and it wasn't a race where you just show up a local Friday or Saturday night and just go through hot laps, which on dirt they really refer to that as kind of warm up. Doing hot laps, and then you go through a heat race to make a final. This thing went through like 3 or 4 days or 5 days, maybe, like some of the other sprint car races that go through multiple days to get to the finals because there's so many people running for. I mean, you can't have 20 cars run up on a Friday night for $50,000. There's going to be multiple cars times that.
They had 30 cars in the feature to begin with.
Yeah. So you imagine 60 or 70 or 80 cars that come through 3 or 4 days to qualify to get to that top 30?
Yeah, and these guys were from all over the place, too. It just happened to be a local hero came in second. That was Peyton Taylor. He was from Batesville. Dylan Thornton, who won one of the qualifying races, came in third. I mean, like I said, they're all over. Fourth place, Derek Agee from Huntsville, Missouri, and fifth, Weston Abbey from Comanche, Texas. So they're coming from all over, too.
You know, I wonder what that race paid back, though. If it pays $50,000 to win, I think the promoter ought to pay back pretty good. I mean, a lot of them don't. It's $50,000 to win and $1,000 for second. You know what I'm saying? It ought to be $50,000 to win or $20,000 for second, $10,000 for third. You know, to make the guys, because that dude traveled from California to Batesville, Arkansas.
Yeah.
I bet that was a culture shock when he got there.
Well, you can ask Derek Thorne what Five Flags pays him if he doesn't qualify for the show.
That's true.
So he goes back to California. They're going to pay him tow money at least, maybe. I don't know, but I've never heard of it.
Yeah, but Derek Thorne also has won his third straight championship and won almost every race in the series that he runs out there, the Cars Southwest Tour. So, yeah, needless to say, he has the money to come over here. You know? Even though that one year he blew 3 engines and flipped the car during the race, you know, I will still never forget. He was standing there looking at the car. It was after the Derby was over, and I walked over. I said, man, tough night. He goes, hell of a trip, 3 engines and 1 race car. Boy, I spent a bunch of money to come over for nothing. He wasn't real happy about it, but
no,
I can understand.
He's made up for it then.
Oh, man, he's one of the best in short track racing. The dude is. You know, just because he comes from California out there with them bunch of weirdos and no, there's a bunch of guys come from California. That 75 car, what's that kid?
Jeremy Doss.
And
Jesse Love.
Jesse Love.
You know,
and these guys are competitors. They're going to come here with a shot at winning. I'm hoping Garrett Evans might come to the Derby this year. He's a guy that's from the Northwest. He's a big name up there.
They want to get revenge on when Bubba went out there and stomped their tails out in California.
Yeah, that old good old boy from Georgia come over and took that money and left. So very interesting, but good racing, man. That's good. That guy won that $50,000. I like to see big money paid to street stock guys. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a great show, and
that's something real quick that they need to work on. The asphalt late models cost so much, and none of the races pay a lot. You know, you can't go buy tires and show up and race, and they pay $10,000 to win, and you spent $10,000 to get there. You know what I mean? I understand there's some development teams, but you know, you got to make it again where it's worthwhile, because we have no local. I said it before. We have no local late model guys anymore. No. We used to have late model teams that come out of the shops that would run the Snowball Derby, such as Junior Niedecken, who is a national champion several times in the 70s, but it was a multi-track championship at Five Flags, but one of the best short track drivers in America, and he could afford to run with those guys at the Snowball Derby. But now
he won a championship at Mobile in the Pro Late model here in a later stage of his career.
His 50th year. I still have the shirt somewhere I bought from him, his 50th anniversary shirt. Dude's one of one of our heroes, and he, you know, but the dude is still good. You know, he still made the Snowball Derby in several years, had a shot at winning if his pit crew hadn't been so slow. You know, that's why I like the format now. No pit crews are involved.
Cold pit stops.
Yep, I like that much better. Uh-huh. I think it's going to be better. It's better for the fans because the racing is actually where it's at. The drivers win by racing, not by who bought the fastest pit crew.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, we're going to continue with some of these guys that we're going to venture out a little bit more with the past series at Oxford Plains, and I know we've touched on Oxford Plains.
Oxford 250?
Well, yeah, the Oxford 250, it was the same place, Oxford Plains Speedway. It's just, we've talked about that configuration, it not being I think what we said, like a jelly bean type.
Something like that, yeah, not super high banked.
Nah, yeah, it's kind of flat, but some banking, but it's just an odd configuration. And they had 150 laps on a 3/8 mile bull ring, which is at Oxford Plains. And Dennis Spencer takes the win with Curtis Gary. And I apologize before in our episode, we did Jerry, but it's Curtis Gary and Johnny Clark, which we know a lot about. And he comes down here and travels.
He won Oxford 250 this year.
Won the Oxford 250, yes, correct.
He's the champion.
Yep, Joey Pastor and Ben Ashline. 35 car field, and Trevor Sanborn actually was some of the notables with 10th. Mike Rowe and, Ben Rowe, they were 14th and 24th, respectively. Kate Ray, which we've talked about before, finished 18th, and Travis Benjamin 20th. So there is a list there that kind of a race at Oxford Plains in the past series that goes under the radar, but we're going to bring that to the forefront and let everybody know that, look, there's some guys up there that are running in every corner of this country, that are gunning for championships and wins, and lo and behold, you'll probably end up seeing him here at Five Flag Speedway at the Snowball Derby at one point in the juncture.
Yeah, that'd be cool to have them down here. We'll welcome all of them, even the guys from Canada, eh?
Hey,
Good racing. That's what we're about. Short tracks, and Oxford is a cool racetrack. That's, like I said, it's one of my bucket lists.
You can't get stretched out on a short track like you can in some of the other bigger venues.
No, it's better racing.
You've got something all the time. It's kind of interesting. You can calculate from the fastest to the slowest how many laps it's going to be before the leaders catch the slower qualifying cars.
Yeah, and most of the slower qualifying cars aren't that slow.
No, they're
not
not.
like they're a full second off. They're within the hundreds, and then you got to battle them and the guy behind you. You can't
Right.
make a mistake. You got to get through that lap traffic.
It can get very interesting when things get packed up. That's when I'm actually watching a race, I kind of get back through the field and try to watch some of the other action, but I'm always keeping an eyeball on what's going on with the leader. Is he catching lap traffic? When he gets into lap traffic, I'm going to get on them, because that's when stuff gets interesting. I've seen people just get punted off the track before because they were blocking.
Yeah, I cut a right front tire at the Derby one year because the slower car decided he was going to race the leaders. I drove under him. He come down and cut my right front tire. I went back out and beat his rear bumper off for the last 10 laps.
well, congratulations to all those winners we've mentioned, and we've got one more before we get into a special notice here before we sign off. But Bobby McCarty,
Congratulations.
the Cars Tour Championship, 3-time Cars Tour champion, and the only one that's won multiple times in that series. And
It ain't easy.
Yeah, he wins the race going out with Daniel Silvestri, Connor Hall, Jonathan Schaefer, and Mason Diaz. Mason Diaz is another driver that we will pay attention to, with Caden Honeycutt, Jared Fryer, Deke McCaskill, Lane Riggs, Minnie Terrell, which we mentioned before, Taylor Gray, and Sam Yarbrough. They were all in that same race in the Cars Tour Championship, and Bobby McCarty comes out with his 3rd championship. So congratulations to him.
Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you what, we could spend 5 or 6 hours just touching on some of these races from week to week.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot to cover.
Yeah. I mean,
It is.
But it's because short track racing is the best there is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and short track guys have it for you.
Yep. Get as much as we can get. And if you have any suggestions, you can email us.
If there's something you want us to cover, let us know.
Yeah, please give us some of your local stuff. If you got a big local race coming up that's not on Speed 51 or on the internet, let us know. We'll cover it. We'd love to talk with you about it.
Yeah, and we appreciate your listening. We appreciate your support. As short track guys, we try to touch on everything and try to get as much out as we can in a period of time that we're allotted. And just to kind of touch on the ending here with signing off, we've got a special guest that's in the house. It's been in the house since we started.
Go Ted.
Ted Baber is
Oh, Lord.
is a participant in the annual Cat Country 98.7 lip sync battle here at the Pensacola Interstate Fair at 7 o'clock this weekend, which actually is tomorrow night.
Absolutely tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. Ted, tell us about what you're up against.
I'm up against some pros. I feel like some of the guys, some of the back markers, the ones that are underfunded. We just get out there to have fun, and a lot of them are on teams. I'm going to be a solo act. I'm going to call myself the OG, because that's exactly what I am.
The original gangsta.
That's right.
Well, good luck, Ted. I mean, tomorrow is my birthday, and I'm going to spend it at the fair, hanging out with you, and hopefully you'll win the thing. We can cheer you on here tomorrow night.
It'll be something.
So is there anything that we can go through over tonight, or are we going to have to wait till next Wednesday to kind of get a snippet of what we're about to hear?
It's good. Well, the song is Old Dominion. I was on a boat that day, so I'll give you that much. But
okay,
it's going to be. I have been advised. I haven't been crazy enough. I mean, I break bottles over my head, for crying out loud.
See, that's not crazy at all. No,
not at all.
Not in the slightest.
But that's going to happen again tomorrow night at some point.
Are they full bottles or empty bottles?
Fortunately, empty and made out of something besides glass, so
he doesn't want to have a concussion, Thomas.
Yeah, actually had.
He wins. Yeah, I got a concussion.
No, we would like you here next Wednesday.
Oh yeah, I plan on being here.
Wouldn't want to win the lipstick battle leaving on a stretcher.
That's right. That'd be rough.
He wins. Good job, but good luck tomorrow night, Ted. I'll be there cheering for you, brother.
Yeah, give them your best, and I know you will. This is not the first time you've done this, right?
No, it's fourth year I've done it, and it just gets a little bit wilder. This year is going to be probably just as far as I've stretched the imagination.
Well, I can imagine the crowd going wild when they announce that you're coming out because they know you and. All your video productions, with Ted Baber Video Productions, I know they're going to go crazy, and you're going to give them the best. And man, I
think it's going to be live streamed. So if you want to see it,
well, hopefully we'll let everybody know that all our listeners will let them know that they can watch bottles being hit over your head and you win the
things being
prize.
broken, stuff being shot out in the audience, things like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ted Baber, Old Dominion tomorrow night. Pensacola Interstate Fair.
Be there or be
the
square.
Annual Cat Country Lip Sync Battle. Yes. Go get them, Ted.
Gonna be wild.
Go get him, Ted. Good luck, brother.
Yep. Thanks, guys. It's always a pleasure to get together with you guys and hang out and talk short track racing and anything outside of that, like we just went over. We look forward to getting together with you next Wednesday and recapping on that and just keep continuing to get close to the Snowball Derby week and the preview. And don't forget the pageant. With Taylor Griffin, get with the fireflagspeedway.com and getting involved with that. And congratulations to all the winners. And thank you so much, everybody, for your support and your listening. We're trying to work as hard as we can to get as much out there for you to update and enjoy and kind of buy some time when you're, on your lunch break or if you're in your car traveling or something. But you guys
give it a listen.
Yeah, give us a listen. Give us a good review. And please drop suggestions. jbp07@hotmail.com. And
Ted_Baber at yahoo.com.
Yeah, give us some ideas. If you think something we didn't think of, or if you've got a short track somewhere in this great nation or in Canada, give us a shout. We'll give you a shout out, and we'll see if we can't help promote you guys like you promote us. Let's do it.
Absolutely.
Yep. Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Good evening.
Thanks for listening. See y'all next week.
Let's go, Brandon.